Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Well, today's high is going to be a lovely sunny 80 degrees. Our September weather has been wonderful. We did have some rainy days, but it was a nice light rain. It wasn't any storms or anything like that. And it's just been a beautiful, beautiful fall so far. So anyway, I see that my coffee pot is flashing red, which means it's time to clean it. So I'm going to give this a try. It's from Dollar Tree. I don't know if it's still $1.25 because Dollar Tree went up to $1.75 for a lot of things. So there's a lot of things at Dollar Tree now that are not a great deal. So I don't know. Our places to get cheap stuff is getting few and far between, but that's all right. I don't need a whole lot of stuff anymore anyway, so, somebody, I had to kind of chuckle. Somebody made the comment of, after yesterday's video, where I was kind of talking about how my life has been the last 15 years and the ins and the outs and sometimes you move things around and it gets messy and then you have to clean it up and purge things. And, they were saying, if you would get rid of some things. And I thought, I don't post a video every time I get rid of something. That would just be ridiculous. So in my house here, things go in, things go out. It depends on what my needs are. So anyway, it's usually people that don't watch my videos all the time that kind of hop in with comments. So, I'm always getting rid of things. That doesn't mean I don't buy anything new, because I do. And that's the way life goes. So cheers. So anyway, I did not get out in the garden yesterday because I hung out with my daughter. We were going to go to a farmer's market, but we had the wrong day. It was actually on Saturday and not Sunday. So we went to our favorite coffee shop, and then my daughter said, "Oh, you want to go to Aldi's and Costco?" So I said, "Sure." And I just picked up a couple things. Things that I like to eat. So we kind of spent the day together, and it was really nice. It was much more pleasant than cleaning up the garden. So I'm still going to have to do that. But it's coming along. Anyway, I'm going to go enjoy my coffee and think about where I want to start in the garden and see how far I get. So, okay, I'll be back. So, okay, I'm going to descale my coffee pot here, and it says to use the whole bottle. So I haven't tried this before, so that's what I'm going to do. And on mine, these two flash when it's time to clean. There's two buttons here. One is actually for hot coffee and one is for iced coffee, but when they flash together, it's time to clean. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So okay, I got to push these for 2 seconds. And there it goes. It'll start flashing white, and then the descaling cycle will start. Now it says to put no more than 14 ounces in there, and this is 13.5 fluid ounces. So we'll see. I usually use vinegar, and that works pretty well, but I thought I would pick this up from Dollar Tree, and I wanted to try it, see if it does a good job. So, all right, well, that's my exciting morning, descaling my coffee maker. Well, I bought a new plant stand because these pots don't really fit into this plant stand. And so the new one should fit right there. And I can also put my shoes on it because this is always a mess here because these are shoes that I wear all the time depending on what my outfit is. So there's really no point to putting them away in my bedroom closet every time. So these are just shoes that live here. And then here I have my two solar generators, small one and a big one. This one my son gave me for my birthday. And the other one I bought, I think it was last year. So anyway, I got a plant stand from Amazon that I want to put there instead. So I have to put it together and it'll look much neater. Well, I'm sitting here having my morning coffee. Cheers. It's almost gone. Then I'll make another cup and have a little breakfast. I have some avocados that I picked up, and I still have some tomatoes from the garden and some bread that I had frozen. So I'm going to have avocado toast this morning. So I always like that for breakfast. So I was sitting here thinking, morning and the late afternoon is when I sit down and think about things and make plans of what I would like to do, even though I don't want to overwhelm myself with my to-do list. But then I got to thinking and I thought, I'm trying to organize or reorganize and purge and use things that I forgot I had as I'm looking through the purging process. And rather than being overwhelmed with it all, because it's no more or less than a lot of people have as they get to be this age. But looking through the things that I've been given over the years or bought over the years makes me feel really grateful. It makes me thank God that I was blessed with the things that I have. Now, I may not be able to use them anymore, which is fine, and those things will go and bless somebody else. It's sort of a pay it forward kind of thing. Now, I was never, I never made a ton of money when I was in nursing. I made a good wage. But even so, I bought the things that I thought I could use when I retired. And that worked out pretty well, but there are things that I have that really, as I get older, don't serve me anymore. They did when I was younger, and by younger I would say in my 50s and 60s. A lot of this stuff was still very useful to me. But as each decade passes, that changes. So, and I think really as you get older, you probably need less and less. You try and help your family. My kids always say they're coming to Mom Mart, and I pretty much give them whatever they find that, they could use. I just, take it. Even if it's something that I find is still useful to me, I'll give it to my kids. But looking at what you have, if you're in a situation where you have a lot of stuff, looking at it as a blessing rather than a burden, I think is a good idea. And yeah, it does create work. But, like I've said before on the channel here, the way I declutter and purge and organize is an ongoing process for me. And that's fine because I actually enjoy doing that. It's, the thing that sort of makes me a little bit, I can't even say anxious, but is when everything has to be done at once because of maybe the weather, like my garden. That's kind of a time sensitive chore that I need to get done. I mean, I could go out there and work in the late fall and winter, but I don't enjoy doing that. I like being in the garden when the weather's nice. So, or maybe working in the garage. Now, I do have heaters that I could use, but still, those two things are big jobs and they're both under a time crunch. So that stuff I don't like to do because, I mean, it's not the process that I don't like, but I don't like working in the cold. So but that's just me. Some people don't mind. They'll put on their winter coat and go out there and do whatever it is they need to do. But I just don't like the cold, and I don't like the real hot weather either. So I've kind of put myself in a little boxed area of, when the weather is decent, I can do this or I can do that. Now, the things in the house that I want to do, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not getting rid of all my tchotchkes and stuff because I enjoy them. Some people say, oh, you got so much stuff, so many knickknacks and stuff like that. And so what? As long as I like looking at them, so what? So I have to dust. And if I get tired of dusting them, I can go around with a box and say, no, I don't want to dust you anymore. You need to go in the box. And then away they go to donation. So the things in the house, that doesn't bother me as much. It doesn't make me feel like I have to hurry. It's just the outside things. So in this year, of course, with the garden, if you've been following me for a while, you know all the work that I did in my backyard this year. And that was intense. And it was very difficult with the wet, cold spring that we had to get it all done. So by the time I got it all done, it was like later in the summer. Well, it was like midsummer, I'd say. And now I'm kind of in a rush to get it put to bed. So that I don't like. I don't like being under a time restriction because of the weather. So, but it is what it is, and some people, oh, stop gardening, or don't do this and don't do that. And, I'm not you and you're not me. And it's still something that I would like to do. Now, next year should be the test if I'll be able to maintain it or not, because I won't have to do all the setup. So it'll just be a maintenance thing. But, yeah, I really need to get out there and get it done. I have a lot of trimming to do in the back because things grew like I've never seen before. I mean, everything grows every year, but not like this year. I think it was the super wet spring, and then all of a sudden the summer heat kicked in. It was like really hot, and the ground was really wet. And I think, some things tripled in size. I've never seen anything like it in all the 23 years I've lived here. So now I have to cut back a lot of those things because they just got way too big, which I really hadn't planned on. So, but anyway, it's all good. And then I tell myself as far as things that I want to get done in the house, which isn't a whole lot anymore. My house is set up pretty well the way I want it, but I'm still going to continue to go through my kitchen cupboards, get rid of things that I know I'm not going to use because I don't cook as much as I used to anymore either. I'll cook a meal and it'll last me a couple days, or I'll put the extra in the freezer. I don't really batch cook much because I always have leftovers that I can freeze. So there's a nice variety of food out there or in the freezer in here. So, that's not a big project for me. So we'll see. I'm kind of curious to see if my plan for my garden will actually work. And you know what? If it doesn't, then, I can always get rid of some things out there. So it's not that big a deal. But I do have to get it cleaned up back there again. And of course, as I'm working out there, the leaves keep falling. So I'm glad that I bought some new garden equipment with the batteries, and I got rid of the other stuff that you plug in. So, I do get rid of things all the time. But, that's kind of boring to show what I get rid of because I don't always have a big pile of stuff that I get rid of. Sometimes it's a few things here and a few things there, and I like to get it out of the house. I don't want to have a yard sale. I don't want to have a garage sale because that would require me to keep the stuff in the house and label it all, with a price, and then you have to sit there for 2 or 3 days. So I'm not interested in doing that. I would rather pay it forward and give it to somebody else, and hopefully they can use it then. So it's all good. The inside of the house is pretty good. It's the garage and the garden that needs some work. So I'll continue to plug away at that as best I can. My plan is to maybe work on it an hour in the garden and maybe an hour in the garage as I'm able, because I can't do it every day. I have days where my fibromyalgia flares up or my arthritis is really bad, and I don't take medication for it. Because I have stomach issues, I don't want to take, like Aleve or Tylenol. If it's really bad, I do. But I don't take that stuff every day. I take some supplements and vitamins and digestive enzymes to help me digest my food, and that always helps. So, but I don't like to take medications. I mean, right now I do take an acid reducer, but I'm trying to wean myself off of that now. And when I went to see the GI guy, he kind of gave me the stamp of approval because I told him I don't want to be on this, every day the rest of my life. So he said, well, for the next 6 months, maybe, take it every other day, see how that works. So that's what I'm doing. But anyway, yeah, I look at everything I have, and I actually look at it as a blessing instead of a burden, because it's so easy just to get rid of something that you don't need anymore. You stick it in a box and off it goes. I don't really get attached to, like, I don't have my kids' toys or, I like to keep the cards that they give me. I keep those like in a folder, or pictures. I love pictures, but now everything's digital. So I just keep the little SD cards. But yeah, I mean, I've been very blessed with what I've been able to accomplish so far, and hopefully you are too. You know, I mean, think of your stuff as a blessing, and I mean, unless you have a hoarding problem, which people have, and maybe you can get somebody in to help you with that. But in that case, you have to kind of draw the line as to what you bring into your house. You know, you just can't keep bringing stuff in and bringing stuff in. You have to kind of let go of some things, you know. So, but I try and, if I do buy something, I try and be mindful of it. You know, can I actually use this, or is it something that will give me pleasure to look at? It doesn't always have to be a useful item. It can be something that I enjoy looking at, or something that makes my life a little easier. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and maybe having a different mindset about what you do have, and just plugging away at it a little bit at a time. You know, I'll pick a room, and, you know, if my kitchen's a mess from cooking or whatever, I try and concentrate on that room. I was working on my dining room, but that's looking pretty good. My living room is the way I like it. You know, I like my decor. I like my tchotchkes. I don't mind dusting them. So that's fine. Really, the only place that I still have to do some work is in my bedroom. I have a few things that I have to find space for, and I really want to downsize more of my clothing. I've been doing that once or twice a year, where I get rid of clothes that I don't wear anymore. And then I also keep things that I might wear, but they usually end up leaving sooner or later anyway. So I have really downsized tons of stuff from my house that weren't useful to me anymore. I either gave it to family or to the donation, and I like donatestuff.com. I don't know if you have that in your area. And they allow you to pick a charity that speaks to you. I donate it all to senior dogs, and I imagine what they do is they probably, you know, sell the stuff, and then the proceeds will go to whatever charity that you pick. So, but, you know, I've also taken stuff and put it in the car and taken it to the donation place, because I don't like to keep the stuff in my house after I've already looked through it, because it's still clutter. It's still taking up real estate in the house, so I want to get it out as soon as possible. So, you know, that's what I do, and all in all, if it wasn't for the weather restrictions, I would be fairly comfortable in the process. So, you know, don't give up. Just, you know, keep plugging away at it. Even if you maybe have a friend that maybe needs a little extra money, you can say, hey, you know, if you can come and help me, I'll pay you, or I'll help you one day, you help me. Because sometimes it's easier to get a buddy to declutter with. But, you know, it'll all work out. You know, just don't give up. Keep plugging away at it, and start in the places. Either start easy and go to more difficult places, or pick a zone. You know, if it's in your kitchen and you look through 2 drawers every day, you'll get it done. So, all right, well, I'm going to go put together my new flower stand. I don't know if I'll donate the old one or keep it. I have to see if I have another area of the house that maybe could use that. But with the plant stand that I had there, it only took a certain size pot. And I've had that plant stand for many years, and it's been kind of all over the house, holding different plants and things. So I'll see. And if I can't use it, I'll donate it. So, all right, well, I will be back later. All right, well, I got this all put together, and it's working out great. I had this basket that I really didn't know what to do with. I had it in the dining room. So I got that out, and it's holding my flip-flops. And then my plants are here. So that worked out well. And it just fits. And it doesn't interfere with the stairs either. And very easy to put together. So this is all organized now. It's my foyer, my entryway. I have a coat that I wear more often hanging on the door. I have some slippers here for people that would like to take their shoes off. They're washable, so they can wear those. My grandson's shoes are over here, so those are nice and neat. Yeah, so, and these are all the decorations I put up. I know, some people might say, oh, that's just too much. Okay, you do you, boo-boo. And then I still want to paint this home sign, but not today. So, okay, one project done. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.